Hey guys, this is Van, KM4 or KBS. I'm currently here in Mystic, Connecticut, and staying up here on work assignment. And I'm here at the Spark Hilton Hotel. And so I found a local park about 6 miles away. So we're going to head out there today and try to build some antennas for Near Vertical Incident Skywave. So come on with me, and I'll take you along for the trip and see if we can throw some wires up in the air. All right, guys, so here I am. We got the rental car here. I've got all my equipment in my book bag. I got my Yaesu 891 radio and also my antenna analyzer and about 4 or 5 of these electrical fence posts that are made out of fiberglass. So we're going out to the park here and see if we can build some antennas. Today I'm located in Mystic, Connecticut. I'm actually over in Groton at the Haley Farm State Park. Today we're going to try to build some 40-meter NVIS antennas, and I'm going to keep it low to the ground, just about 3 to 4 feet high, and I may try to raise the center point, feed point, at a few variations up to maybe 10 to 12 feet. So we'll see what the SWR readings are at different lengths and try to get it resonant within the general class of the 40-meter band. So I'm mainly looking at the voice section of the general class 40 meters, and so come along and let's build some antennas. All right, so here's some of the equipment I have for building the NVIS antennas. We got some fiberglass poles, some wires, some wire cutters, a long tape measure, and of course my RigExpert Antenna Analyzer for measuring the SWR. So let's get some wires cut and build some antennas. All right, guys, I got the NVIS set up right about 3.5 to 4 feet off the ground using these fence post poles that are made out of fiberglass. Let me show you what I've got. I've got them spaced out right about 31 feet from the feed point down to one end, and then also 31 feet down. All right, so right now I'm using the LDG 1-to-1 Balun as my feed point. We've got 2 banana plug right angle adapters attached to the end of the wire. Makes it easy for plugging in and unplugging and quick setup and tear down. Then we got the coax cable ran over to the workbench, and I've got it measured out 31 feet between the poles. So leg number 1 and leg number 2. Here at one end of the legs, I've got the fiberglass post, and if you notice, I've got these metal connectors that allows me to fold back the wire. That way I can adjust them as needed. So as we need to make adjustments, I can loosen up the nut on the back side and lengthen, or shorten up rather, that length of the wire. I've also got a piece of string going to a tent post stake to help keep this pole a little bit tight, because there's a lot of rocks. I could only stick these poles in the ground a few inches because there's so many rocks underneath here. So your soil conditions may be different than mine. Like I said, I'm up here in New England, so a lot of rocks and stuff under the soil. All right, guys, I've got the antenna set up, connected up to the RigExpert. Let's look at the center frequency of 7.237, and we'll go 500 hertz on either side. So let's do the SWR sweep. All right, so right now we're 1.51 at 7.15. So let's make some adjustments and try again. All right, guys, I've taken the center feed point and attached it to a, I think it's a 14-foot crappie pole, fishing pole, and I've got it up right about 6.5 feet. So we've elevated the center feed point. I've adjusted each end just a little bit to where they're still tight, but more of a slight angle, more of an NVIS inverted V with a slight slope. So let's take measurements and see what we get. All right, we're going to run another sweep. We're going to still use the frequency of 7.237 with a range of 500 hertz on either side. And we'll run the sweep. All right. Sorry for the sun glare, but right now at 6.5 feet high feed point, we're at 1.4 at 7.19 megahertz. And at 7.237, we're 1.45. Point at 6.5 feet using the LDG balun, using the banana plug instead of the LDG balun. Same height, 6.5 feet. All right, guys. Using the BNC feed point instead of the LDG balun, we still have it at 6.5 feet. Sorry for the sun glare. At the lower end of the general class, 7.175, we're looking at about 1.27 SWR. If we take it up to 7.238, which is about the middle of the voice section of the general class, we're looking at 1.3 SWR. If we take it up to 7.300, the upper portion of the general class, we're at 1.4. So not too bad. All right, guys, we're going to try to loosen up the nut on these end points of the wire and shorten it up about 2 inches, and then 2 to 3 inches, and then we'll do another sweep on the SWR meter. All right, guys, I've shortened up the length of the wires, each leg, by about 3 inches. And so by doing that, I just loosened up the nut on the end, pulled 3 inches through, measured off each end, and retightened the nut, and then reset the wire at the poles. So let's run another sweep at 7.238 with 500 megahertz on either side. All right, looks like that's moved the lower SWR about where we want it at 1.28 SWR at a 7.250. And then the middle of the band there is 7.238. It's 1.28. So I'm going to call that good. And I think that's going to do it for the 6.5 feet elevated inverted V for Inv-V configuration. All right, guys. So after shortening up the length of each wire leg by 3 inches, the overall length is right at 30 feet 9 inches to the end of the loop. That means the wire length is right at 5 inches folded back on itself. So that would make it 31 feet 2 inches. And fold it back about 5 inches on itself. And that'll put the resonance right there where it needs to be at 6.5 feet feed point. Okay, I've raised the center feed point of the Inv-V antenna up to 10 feet. 10 feet above the ground. And we're going to run the SWR and see what the sweep does at 10 feet elevation and I had to shorten up the ends of the wires by a couple of feet just to kept the wire the same length with it folded back 5 inches on itself. Let's see what we get. All right, let's do the sweep with the feed point up at 10 feet, still at a center frequency of 7.238 with a 500 hertz offset. So let's run the sweep. Oh wow, much better. So as you can see, that puts a 1.1 SWR at 7.25, and with a center frequency of 7.238, we're 1.11. If we go down to the 1.17, we're 1.25. And we go up to 7.300. To the top of the band, we're 1.2. So 10 feet really does help lower the SWR. And for NVIS configuration, we're down to 1.1 SWR. So 10 feet is definitely a good sweet spot. Hey guys, so I've raised the feed point back up to 10 feet. It had came down a few moments ago, but I wanted to get some measurements so you can duplicate what I've done. Let me show you the measurements. All right, so once again, the feed point is up at 10 feet. And when we come down, the fiberglass posts are 4 feet off the ground. It's like 3 feet, I think 9 or 10 inches. And I've relocated the post to be 30 feet and 1 inches away from the feed point. Then I moved my tent stake to help keep the pole tight. I've done the exact same thing down on the other end. So let's hook it up to the Yaesu FT891 and see what type of contacts we can make.
US 7848 in Ohio.
Kilo Mike 4, Kilo Bravo Sierra.
Very good. Kilo Mike 4, Kilo Bravo Sierra, 57 in my park.
All right, thank you. You are 5-5 here into Mystic, Connecticut.
Thank you very much into Mystic, Connecticut. Thank you for that contact. And
7-3, have fun with the activation.
Well, who else? The US 7848 in Ohio.
This is Kilo Mike 4, Kilo Bravo Sierra. This is KM4KBS. This is Van in Mystic, Connecticut. You still copy, Shane? Kilo Mike 4, Kilo Bravo Sierra. Do you copy there, Shane? CQ. This is Kilo Mike 4, Kilo Bravo Sierra.
Kilo Echo 8, Whiskey Kilo Sierra.
Kilo Whiskey 8 station. What's your name and location, please? I'm testing out a new antenna I just built. It's an NVIS antenna. The name here is Van, Victor Alpha November. Okay, very good. I heard West Virginia there. I just cut some wire and built an NVIS antenna. I'm located in here in Groton, Connecticut, and got this antenna set up at a park here in an NVIS configuration about 10 feet off the ground in an inverted V, and just testing out the new homebrew antenna. All right, copy the 4-4. Yeah, you're probably about a 5-3 here into Connecticut. Yeah, I think the bands aren't doing too hot today.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult. I'm out here doing portable here, and I I was going to do parts on the air, and I don't believe there's enough people to even get anything done. Over.
Yeah, QSL. Yeah, I've been trying to learn to build some Inv-V antennas, and just got some wire cut and put it up here and just trying to test it out. I got it tuned to right around this frequency of 7.240 with a pretty low SWR, but yeah, the bands I think aren't doing too hot today.
Yeah, Russ, yeah, I'll take another day to test it out. You're going to make some contacts. You ain't going to get no real good signal reports, I don't believe.
All right, well, thank you, sir. And what was the name again? The name here is Van, Victor Alpha November, and I forgot what your name was.
The name on this side is Doyle. Delta Oscar Yankee Lima Echo, Kilo Echo 8, Whiskey Kilo Sierra.
QSL, thank you, sir. And the name here is Kilo Mike 4, Kilo Bravo Sierra. I'm from Chesapeake, Virginia, but I'm currently on work assignment up here in Mystic, Connecticut.
Roger, 73, my friend. Good to meet you. Best of luck.
Thank you, 7-3. Whiskey 1 Bravo Sierra. Nice strong signal. This is KM4 KBS. I'm currently located in Groton, Connecticut. Set up here at a park and just building some Inv-V antennas. Give me another transmission. I'll give you a signal report.
Okay, real good. Name here is David, and I'm located on Fisher's Island. I'm probably no more than 20 miles from you, across the water. Your signal is quite loud here. I think it's 10 over 9. KM4 KBF WB1S. November X-ray 9 Tango. November X-ray 9 Tokyo. November X-ray 9 Tokyo, US 1995, Ohio.
Kilo Mike 4, Kilo Bravo Sierra.
Kilo Mike 4, Kilo Bravo Sierra. Kilo Mike 4, Kilo Bravo Sierra, 5 and 9.
Copy the 5-9. You're about 5-4, 5-5 here into Mystic, Connecticut. The name here is Van, Victor Alpha November.
Okay, Van, very good. Nice to meet up with you. Please QSL, or make sure I have your call right. Kilo Mexico 4, Kilo